Okay, we are alive. Good morning. So, welcome to this first episode of In the Trenches, your weekly dose of sales strategies and motivation. Today, we are going to dive deep into the art of handling objections. So, buckle up for an insightful session. So basically, what today is we are going to go through a sales pitch focusing on overcoming objections, and then we will discuss those objections that we hear as salespeople all the time and throughout the week, and we will get your input then. So remember, objections are opportunities in disguise.
Absolutely.
I leave it to you with JT here, Mariela here, and Isaiah Tyler.
All right. And so what we want to do is we want to start off today with listing some of the common objections that every salesperson, regardless of what your field of sales is, that you're going to see. And we're going to write them on the board. Then what we'll do is throughout the next week or two, or as we go forward, we're going to continue working on different ways to handle those objections. So, first of all, we've got the objections over here, common objections above Isaiah's head. We're going to list them out. So, Isaiah, what are some of the most common objections that you hear and see on a daily basis?
I'm going to go over here.
The most common objections that I see and hear on a daily basis would be the first one, which is I am not interested. You want me to go through and write them down
Just
as
put,
I list them all?
not interested. Not interested. How many people, when you call somebody, knock on somebody's door, how many of you hear that? Not interested. Sometimes it's before you even get the last word out of your mouth, the person is automatically saying not interested.
The second one that I usually get for me is right now is not a good time.
Not a good time. I hear not a good time all the time as well. So either I don't have any time, I'm busy, it's not a good time. I would say depending on what you do. Well, I was going to say with you
I'm a door-to-door. I sell door-to-door salesman for window cleaning and pressure washing. So obviously, when I show up to the door, it's not the first thing that people are thinking about. So I have to kind of persuade them a little more throughout the whole sales process when it comes to selling that.
Well, it's also the tail end of winter, right?
Correct.
So it's still cold. The weather's still. People aren't in that spring mindset yet. So. Yeah, they're thinking, this isn't the right time to get my windows cleaned and my pressure washing done.
Correct.
So definitely.
Alrighty. And then the next one that I usually get is we have someone who does this work for us. We've got a guy who pressure washes, or we pressure wash ourselves, or we've got a window cleaner. So I'm sure you guys have heard that one as well.
Yeah, and so I'm in technology sales, business technology sales. I hear this all the time. We've got a guy. We've got a company. We've had them for 20 years. They're great. They do everything. So I know that is something that you hear as well, because everybody already has a guy.
So we've got not interested, not a good time, and we've got a guy. The last one that I'll get, if I'm able to get through my pitch and get to the back end of the sale, is the price is just a little high, or we've got someone else who does it for cheaper, or there's other companies out there who do it for a lot less. So
Okay.
I would say for that one you could put down
Just put on price objection. It's a price
objection.
So and now that I'm kind of thinking this through, right? So we're working at the very front end of the sales process, right? We're working on the pitch, we're working on this introduction, and these are going to be objections that you're going to hear right at the beginning of the conversation, at the beginning of that sales pitch. And as you move throughout the sales process, you'll hear different objections.
Correct. The objections change from the front end of the sale versus the back end of the sale.
Yeah. And sometimes the price objection, like he said, if he gets through his pitch, because he's doing window washing and power washing, he's giving them a price kind of right then and right there.
Correct.
Because he wants to get that job, close it, and get it done that day. So, in my case with business technology sales, I'm not usually talking about price on the first call. I don't have an idea what they have. I don't know what the solution is. So that price objection will come later on. The other one that I hear all the time is, we're all good, we're set. I guess that's not interested, but that's a different way of saying not interested. Listen, we're all good. We've got a guy. We're all set. So these are, I think, probably the biggest, most common objections.
Main five, I would say.
At the front end when you're pitching somebody. Mariella, do you have anything that we may be missing?
I think I can't think of anything at this moment.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we wanted to list these. Now we're going to work on the, probably one or two of these over the next 24 hours, so that tomorrow we can come back and say, hey, here's a way to handle these objections right here, right now. So that was what we wanted to do. Go ahead.
And another one that I will put down just as an extra is we just got this job done either yesterday. I've ran into that before, or we've, whether or not you're selling for IT, we've already upgraded, which I was on. I have a Sunday sales call with the program that I'm in every Sunday. And it was actually kind of funny, but interesting on the way he, the sales trainer of that group, goes around that objection. And he had said, he had shown this video where a lady had told him, I just got this job done probably 3 or 4 days ago. And he was like, oh, that's perfect, miss. I actually know that there was a company who came through here, and they were actually washing they were just washing all the glass. And he said, that's the reason why we were called out today, is because we're not just doing the glass. We're primarily focusing on scrubbing down the frames of the windows, all the sills, all the screens, and the glass is thrown in, to be honest, as kind of a freebie for you. And he ended up closing that sale. So that was, I thought, an interesting way to go about that one.
So already had it done. Yeah.
I actually do have something to add to that, the one that Isaiah just threw there, because I was thinking, okay, so that's an opportunity to ask, how did you like their service? And if the customer says, I loved it, then you can say, what did they do that you loved it?
Yeah.
What did they do? So you pick on their ideas of how they are doing something that you might not be doing. And if the customer says, let's say on the other hand, no, we didn't really like it, we are not very happy with it, there is an opportunity for you to say, hey, next time around, next quarter, whenever they wash your windows in the fall again, or even next year, if they consider it again, we can come and do this for you. We will do this, and this, and detail what the other company didn't do.
I like that. I think that's good. I think you definitely hit a nail on the head, right? So get a little bit more information. You might even be able to, like you said, hey, how satisfied are you with the job? Okay, they're 100%. Okay, so listen, I'd love to be able to give you a competitive bid. The next time you do it, when will you want to do you typically do that in the spring and in the fall? Because I'd love to be able to, at least be in the mix in the fall when it comes around. For me in technology, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's like, okay, so you guys made these changes recently. How happy are you? Okay, find out whether or not they're happy with it, because just because they made a change doesn't mean that they're happy with it. Right. However, if somebody just spent $300 getting their windows washed and they're not happy with it, they're probably not going to be looking to spend another $300 right now to get it done. But you can get that business in the future.
That also depends on, again, how good of a salesman you are. But another interesting thing that I'll slip in here real fast is when I was on that call last night, the sales trainer had said some of the greatest salesmen that you see are not able to pick up on social cues when they're out and about, whether that's like at a party or at a like a get together with friends or family. And I thought that was really interesting because he had said when you're not able to pick up on certain social cues, it allows you to push past those objections because you don't pick up on it and you don't start to get into a logical debate with the other person that you're talking to, whether that's door to door or over the phone. So I thought that was kind of interesting because he had said the best salesmen are not the smartest people. They're not the most intelligent and high IQ people. They're actually people who miss out on a lot of the social cues
Wow.
that they come across.
Okay. Very cool. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the other side. So what we'll do is we'll take these objections. We're going to kind of expand on handling them in the future. We've got them down here. And now we're going to go into practicing our individual. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I
I'm
was
sorry.
going to say, yeah, so I wanted to like just come up here and say that we are going to discuss next our sales pitch. That's another important part of sales, right? Of selling. So with that said, I can read mine.
Okay.
And then you guys are going to do yours, right?
All right. We'll let you do yours.
Okay, so hey everyone. Hi, I'm Mariela from Tech Solutions Revolution, where we are revolutionizing business communications and security. Imagine a world where all your tech needs are met seamlessly under one roof, whether it is from data or voice to cybersecurity. We are your partners for life. Our approach: think of us as your tech concierge, simplifying the process with clarity and no upfront costs. So whether you are a startup or a seasoned enterprise, TSR has got you covered. Sorry, it was there before. Join us on this exciting journey. Thank you so much. So I'm leaving you with Jason here.
All right. So pitch, super important. And we're going to discuss elements of a pitch. What we're going to do is we're going to give our pitches here, and then as we move forward, we're going to work on improving those pitches and working with each other to do that. So you should see these things evolve. Typically, I make a call, I get to the right person. Hey, how you doing, Bill? This is Jason. It's a mid-afternoon kind of. All right. Hey, how you doing, Bill? This is Jason. It's mid-afternoon sales call. Did I catch you at a bad time? Almost always get no or yeah, but what are you selling? That kind of thing. So then I say, hey, listen, like I said, my name is JT. I'm calling from UTEL USA in Auburn Hills. We are an independent technology advisor. Now, I know you're not looking to make any changes today, and you probably work with some great people already, and really not interested. However, we live in a world of change, and at some point in time, you will probably face a decision and have to make some changes. What I'm looking to do today is introduce myself and see if maybe you guys have something on your whiteboard currently or later on in the year where it may make sense for me to call you back at a better time and have that discussion. At that point, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get them to hear what I'm saying. Hey, it's low pressure because I'm trying to avoid this. Hey, we're not interested. We got somebody. I try to hit those main points of what they normally say to me. And what I have found is by doing that, 50, 60% of the time, the person will start talking back, right? I'm giving you an opportunity because I'm in technology sales. I don't just sell one specific thing. It's really a broad brush. There's a lot of things to take in consideration. A lot of times they'll start talking to me and telling me exactly what they are dealing with. Or they'll say, listen, we're all set. We're good. There really isn't anything we're looking to do right now. We just made changes. Okay, cool. Is there a time of year where you guys do reevaluate your current situation, your current solutions, what you're doing? It's either a yes or a no. Okay, so you guys don't really look at that? No. Okay. And now I'm saying, cool. Well, listen, would you be against the idea of me at least sending over my contact information over to you via email? Usually I get no, that'd be fine. Okay. Get that email address, because every time we make a sales call, whether it's just to pitch or, further, you're always looking to gather more information. So listen, are you, get that information. Something I forgot at the front end too is, and this is why we're doing this, I need to work on this, is I always like to ask, are you even the right person to make this decision? And that helps out too. So that's where I'm at right now. And we'll turn it over to Isaiah and we'll hear what he has to say.
Sweet. So mine is a little bit different. Again, I am a door-to-door salesman. So first, I'll usually start by going up to the door, good energy, knocking on the door, wait for them to come to the door, and then it'll go something like this. It'll go, hey, how's it going, miss? How are you? How are you doing? They'll usually say, doing well. What's going on? And then from there on, I'll ask them a question of, have you seen me working at all over the past few hours in the neighborhood? Good looking guy in the long blue sleeve or the white t-shirt. They'll usually laugh. I find that if you can get them to laugh at the door, that makes them or tends to bring their guard down a little bit. So once I've done that, the answer is usually no. People are pretty busy. And from there on, I'll go, okay, well, reason I'm stopping by or reason I'm popping by is just because we're helping out a few of the neighbors in the neighborhood. We're actually helping them to scrub down all of the frames and all of the actual glass around the whole house, doing some window washing for them. And what I'll do for you, just so that you know, is go around, count up the glass, give you a quick price on what it would run you. Give me 30.2 seconds, and I'll meet you back around the front. Now that will work sometimes it won't, and they'll give me a quick objection out of these five, and that's really up to me to figure out how I go about that. But again, that is the front end of the sale. I am trying to just get around the house, even if they're not looking to do anything. They're like, you know what, yeah, give me a price for later in the future. As long as I can get around to the back of the house, count up all the glass, and then meet them at the front with a price. All of the I want to do it later in the season goes out the door, and we just, we come in and kind of attack it on the back end of the presentation. So
Yeah, and I think one thing that you said at the beginning there is breaking the ice, right? So you are almost always going to be interrupting somebody in the middle of something, right? Whether it's they're watching a soap opera or they're in the middle of a Zoom call because they're at work. Same thing with whatever sales you're in. So that pitch, having that good opening, having a strong pitch is super important because you want to grab their attention.
Correct.
And the longer you can stay there. So just, hey, I know you're not interested. You just told me no, blah, blah, blah. Just listen, would you be against me at least walking around the house, counting up the glass you have, and giving you a price just so you know? The reason you want to do that and the reason you want to keep people engaged for a few more minutes is because the longer you can have them engaged, the lower that objection, that threshold of resistance will go, right? Not every time. However, most times as people, okay, they get comfortable. Now they realize, man, I'm not as busy. Let me at least hear this guy out. And that's where you want to really you want to start to communicate instead of just talk to somebody. You want to get them reciprocating that communication.
All right. And then, you want to make a joke at the front end of the presentation, and then at the back end, you can slip something in as well. Let's say they've got a bunch of Michigan signs in the yard, or they've got a big Michigan banner on the front door. You can say something like, I counted up all the glass. Usually, it would be pretty expensive. It would be $349 or whatever it is. $349 for the whole thing, top to bottom, all four sides. Like I said, we're scrubbing down the frames, all the sills, all of the actual glass. But you're lucky. Today's your lucky day, sir, because we're giving out a good deal for guys who are big Michigan fans, and that is you. So that $349 comes down to $249, something like that. So again, the more you can make them laugh and smile, the lower that defense system goes.
People like compliments too, so you can get a good compliment in there. I think that's when I'm doing my pitch and my opening kind of pitch conversation is. That's one of the things I found, that if you ask somebody first, hey, are you even the right person to talk to about this? Or I'll call and say, I was told you're the person who handles these type of decisions. Is that right? Because I'm trying to make sure that I'm talking to the right person. That person feels empowered, like, yes, I am the right person to make these decisions. It's a very strange thing, but just asking that question lowers their guard a little bit. Yeah, I am the right person. What are you calling for? And then I go into it, and then they're more open to talk. So it's really about improving communication skills. That's what we're going to be talking about here, and that's what we're going to be working on. Not only to try to help you out, but to help ourselves out. This is a good little brainstorming, work it through, improve ourselves. So over the future, we're going to be working specifically on this opening pitch, opening objections. That's going to be our focus probably for the next week, until we're satisfied with what we have come up with. So
working on there's a front end and then there's a back end of the presentation, or the sale, however you want to call it. So yeah, like I said, over the next week or so, we'll be working on the front half of the presentation and how to handle everything on the front half.
Yep.
And then once you get in, obviously there's a whole separate side with that. So
absolutely.
And then, you guys, I'm over here. We are going to get into a motivational little quote for you, because as we know, in sales, and in life, we actually need motivation, right? All of us do. So here is a powerful quote to fuel your motivation from.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is came across this just recently. Listen, like Mariella said, you can stay in here. Okay. Like Mariella said, life is difficult, right? Mm-hmm. Sales is difficult. People who aren't in sales don't understand how difficult sales actually is. And so what we'll do, we'll play this quick video, and then we'll wrap things up. All right? All right, here we go.
So, as Rocky would say, it ain't over till it's over. I had a very tumultuous upbringing, very physical, and rough father, rough everything. And I was thin. I just was not genetically, would you say, a mesomorph. I was an ectomorph. Yeah. And I went to see a film one day, and it altered my life completely. It was Steve Reeves in Hercules Unchained. And when he struck that pose, I had an epiphany. Went, that's who I want to be. That's a man. That's, oh my God. And I ran out of the theater after that and went to a junkyard and started lifting little brake drums or anything that I could lift. It was like 30 pounds, whatever. And I never stopped. And I did build on armor. It was like, I felt I could really take care of myself. I could inflict punishment rather than take punishment. And I never stopped. But I always felt that a lot of guys, it's a lot of action guys, have no heart. And you can see in their films, all they do is kick ass. They never get hurt, ever. Not a bloody nose. And that's not real. The audience can't relate to that. Everybody gets hurt. Either metaphorically, symbolically, or physically, they get hurt. And you root for that person who gets hurt. Get up! Because we all get knocked down. And that's just a credo I've followed my whole life. That he's not a pillar of strength. He's a pillar of dominoes. It's just, I was broke. I mean, seriously, done. But it depends how well you know yourself. I knew my personality that if I sold it, that was probably $1 million plus by today's dollars, a millionaire. And someone else did it, and it was successful. I would have never forgiven myself. I would have been a broken, embittered man for the rest of my life. So I realized we have in our entire futures about 3 or 4 serious crossroads. And that was my first one. That's a real serious crossroad where this is life altering. And it's not about money. I know I will be destroyed and I will destroy everyone around me. I'll be such a miserable human being for selling out. This is what the whole movie was about. It's not selling out. I just know how I work. I know what my engine will do. And I would have been, I don't want to get overly dramatic, but I would have been dead.
So, real quick with that video, it's like any motivational video, right? It's been chopped up. It's a couple of different interviews. He starts off by talking about his life and how he had to build up this, this strength, this resilience, get stronger and get better. And I like what he said about, everybody gets hurt. And that's why when he made his movies, Rocky and all these movies, he showed his character getting hurt, his character getting beaten down by life and getting back up. And then he goes in to talk about, when he talks about, I knew if I would have sold it, right? He says, basically, he had Rocky written. The movie Rocky was written, was ready to go. And it sounds to me as if he had a buyer for it, or one of the studios was going to pay him $1 million. But what did he say? He said, I knew that and he was broke. He was, when Sylvester Stallone made Rocky, he was broke, dead broke. And he it's an amazing movie, especially when you take into the context that he was very young, he was broke, he had nothing, and he made the movie. I believe he obviously starred in it, he wrote it, I believe he was part of the production and directing of the movie as well. But what he's saying is he knew that if he sold that for $1 million, that he'd never forgive himself, because that was his and he had to do it. He couldn't sell out. So listen, everybody gets knocked down. You have a rough day. Sometimes you have a rough week. You might have a rough 6 months or 6 years, but you got to keep fighting. You got to get up, get off the mat every single time. And I think he's right. There's probably a lot of those kind of days, a lot of those kind of weeks where it's tough. You're beaten up pretty bad and you got to get off the mat. But there probably are 3 to 4 times in your life where you have a serious crossroads type decision that you need to make. And that's really the thing. Those are the moments that I believe at the end of your life you will be looking back at and either happy and proud of yourself that you did it your way, or you'll be looking back and you'll be regretting not doing things different. So anybody else? Isaiah, got anything with that?
I think you got it.
No, I don't. I guess I think you got it.
All right. So we're going to close it out here.
Yeah. So we are opening the floor to your questions on overcoming objections here, and whether you are facing challenges with specific objections or need advice, drop down your questions in the comments below, and we will tackle them together. Okay. And then, oh yes.
No, but I was just going to say, and leave them there. If you're watching this video after it was live, leave something there. When we see it, we will make sure that we answer it or comment back. And it doesn't have to just be on objections or pitch. It can be on anything. Give us a holler.
There you go. So before we wrap up today's session, let's take a moment to celebrate your victories and reflect on any hurdles you have encountered. Remember, every success and setback is an opportunity for growth.
That's right.
Until next time, TSR and Wash 'em Up signing off.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.